Hallo und willkommen, ich bin Meister Lindsay and this is Manon, an exchange student from the US, living in Germany, and you're watching Get Germanized, living gluten-free in Germany.
I am bored, what should I do?
Ich weiß.
Hey guys, if you want to be notified as soon as a new Get Germanized video gets uploaded, make sure to hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. Thank you very much, and now have fun with this video. Well, Manon has to live gluten-free because, well, her body just doesn't like gluten at all. She reacts like crazy to it. So she needs to be really careful what she eats, so she's an expert on, well, choosing the right food while being here in Germany. So tell us a little bit about that, Manon.
Very different from the United States. It's not as common here for people to eat gluten-free, so there's a little bit less availability. You'll really only find gluten-free food in bigger stores or specialty food stores.
Like the Reformhaus, for example, like organic food stores.
En Natura, DM.
Rossmann, those kind of things.
And then the bigger grocery stores have gluten-free food as well. The labeling is very different. Generally, only a gluten-free company would have gluten-free labeled food. So finding out if something else is gluten-free or not can be a lot harder because it won't just say it on the packaging. You really have to research all the ingredients to make sure that what you're eating is safe.
Okay. That would be a hassle, wouldn't it?
It's a huge hassle. You definitely need to bring Google with you to the grocery store.
Yeah, well, and also the variety is a lot smaller here in Germany, I think, right?
Definitely. Since gluten-free isn't as popular, there's a lot less options. So usually most people eat this brand, Share. Everything's
we're not paid by those.
Yellow. Oh yeah, we're not
not sponsored.
Sponsored.
No.
I wish they'd send me free food. A couple other smaller brands as well, but you won't really find a lot of gluten-free food from the other food companies.
Well, next up, the cost of those gluten-free products is a little bit different here as well, isn't it?
Gluten-free food is more expensive than regular food in general, but the costs are actually a little bit cheaper in Germany than they are in the US because groceries in general are a little bit cheaper in Germany, which is really nice. So, for example, a gluten-free frozen pizza in the US might be $7 or $8, whereas a normal one might be $5 or $6. In Germany, a normal one might be €1, but a gluten-free one might be €3 or €4.
Okay. And what's the taste like? Is it any good here in Germany? Gluten-free food?
It's not bad. I think in America the demand and the variety breed some really nice stuff, but it's not bad either. The gluten-free bread is actually quite good.
Well, the demand. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why is there such a high demand in America?
It's actually pretty trendy in America to eat gluten-free. And because of that trend, there's a pretty big stigma if you're eating gluten-free, regardless of whether you have celiac disease or gluten intolerance or if you're just doing it for fun. People will just assume that you're just doing it for attention.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a young woman, people will definitely judge you for it and make fun of you.
Typical white girl.
Yeah.
But here in Germany, it's different.
Oh yeah. Nobody even bats an eyelash if you're buying gluten-free food. Yeah. They just assume that you can't eat gluten. Nobody will ever judge you for it.
And most people won't even know what gluten is.
Yeah, really, they don't.
No.
So that's one thing that I found nice was that I can buy gluten-free food and have nobody staring at me.
Not be judged for it, yeah. So we talked about supermarket gluten-free food, right? But what about if you want to go and eat out at restaurants, for example?
It's definitely harder here in Germany. A lot of restaurants do have gluten-free menus or gluten-free items. Some restaurants don't, and a lot of times the waitstaff really have no idea what gluten is. And if you have celiac disease or one of the more severe forms of gluten intolerance, that can be really scary because if the waitstaff don't even know what you're allergic to, then how can they know that there's nothing in it?
Yeah.
Because you have to be really careful with celiac disease. It can be very stressful with somebody with one of the more severe intolerances because you really don't know if it's safe or not. But some restaurants, on the other hand, are really good.
And just imagine they just tell you because they can't be bothered, like, oh yeah, that's fine, like, and then, I mean, you could sue them, right, for that?
I'm not sure about that in Germany.
In America, definitely.
In America, absolutely. In America, the waitstaff would really know what they're talking about usually. Sometimes you have to plan around eating out in some situations unless you've found a restaurant that you know is going to be really good.
Well, restaurants, or what about dining halls?
The dining halls are not quite as accommodating as they are in the US.
At universities and stuff
At
like
universities,
that.
yeah. So in the US, I believe it is the law that you have to accommodate students with allergies. In Germany, I don't think there really is a law about that. Actually, it's really common when I tell people that I can't eat gluten for them to mistake it for being a vegetarian.
Yeah,
which
I
is
think so.
Total opposite problem.
Yeah, it doesn't have really anything to do with that
No.
at all. So, well, all of that sounds really, really difficult when you live in Germany. So, you know, how can you get some help? Like, how can you make it easier on yourself?
Luckily, there are a ton of people on social media that do a really good job of taking photos of food or looking up brands and seeing what's gluten-free and what's not. So the best way to survive gluten-free in Germany is to follow Instagram accounts, blogs, Facebook posts of people that have been doing gluten-free in Germany for a long time. And then you can find out what brands you can eat, you can find out what restaurants you can go to, and it makes it a lot easier.
We'll put some suggestions in the video description actually so that you can look that up. So also another helpful tip could be, well, the German words that you need to know about for gluten-free and stuff. So what are they?
So gluten-free in German is glutenfrei. Gluten is just gluten, it's spelled the same.
Yeah.
Wheat is Weizen. And then it's really helpful to always have some kind of dictionary on you when you're grocery shopping, because you might not know what all of the ingredients mean in German. So you need to make sure you know what they are so you know you're not eating anything that you're allergic to.
Yeah. Having a dictionary in Germany is a good tip in general, I'd say. Well, guys, and if you have any more helpful tips regarding gluten-free in Germany, let us know in the comments. I bet many people would appreciate that. And us, obviously, as well. Manon would probably appreciate that. Yes. And we also would appreciate a like on the video if this was helpful and interesting to you. And you can support the channel in the video description, because there are lots of different links, like for PayPal donations, for Patreon, all those different kinds of things. And other than that, well, you can watch this video here, which you can see right there. It's similar to this one. I think you would enjoy that as well. A lot, actually. They should watch it, right?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Like, there's no question about it. Just watch it. Go and watch this one. And thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to get Germanized. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen.